Well, fall is here, and one of the big parts of fall is election season. And coming up here in Greeley, we have a lot of issues showing up on the ballot this year. And with us today, we have Betsy Holder, City Clerk with the City of Greeley, to give us some information. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning.
Now, of course, this year for the elections here in Greeley, it brings up a lot of questions for people, of course, and ballots themselves can be confusing to some. But can you run us through kind of the ballot process and how it works in the City of Greeley?
You bet. One of the first things is to remember is that Greeley is participating with several other jurisdictions, several other governments, to coordinate with the Weld County Election Office. The election office will manage this process so voters experience one election and one ballot. So they'll see a multitude of elected offices as well as questions on their ballot.
And when do these ballots go out that people will start seeing them?
The Weld County Election Office will start mailing the ballots on October 16th, so voters will have plenty of time to study the issues, the candidates of their choice, and make their selection before they return those ballots.
And there's more than one way people can turn. You guys have made it easy. What are some of the different ways people can turn those ballots in once they fill them out?
You bet. Lots of variety here, lots of choices. First of all, you can return your mail ballot by postal mail. You can deliver it, hand deliver it, and drop it off. You can also vote in person if you'd like at the many vote centers that there will be in Weld County.
And as far as who can vote, and there's a lot of confusion because people are here for school, they're here for jobs, or they're in between jobs, they're coming places. What are the people that are eligible to vote for our election?
And I'll just focus on Greeley at this point. Those that are qualified to vote in a Greeley election, first of all, must be registered to vote. And to register to vote, you can go to govotecolorado.com. We really push that website for voter registration because it's a very simple way to register to vote. It's also a good place to check on your registration to make sure you have the most current address information and other information on file for your voter registration.
You want to make sure if you're going to cast that vote, it's going to count, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And are there any rules people should watch out for when they're filling out those ballots? Is there no red pen, no blue pen, any particular things they should watch out for?
The ballots are tabulated by machine, so it's certainly helpful to use black or blue ink to fill in those ovals that you'll see. You've seen those before, but those will be listed beside every candidate and every question that's on the ballot. And just complete that. You'll sign it, of course, and either drop it off, deliver it, or mail it.
Okay. And you mentioned the date of when the ballots are going out, but if people haven't seen their ballots or they're worried that they're waiting after that date and haven't seen one, who should they contact if they have any problems getting a hold of one or haven't seen one yet?
I would call, I'd give it a few days, but then call either the city clerk's office or the Weld County Election Office to see if there's a problem or a delay of some sort, or if there's something wrong, or if there's been some confusion with the voter registration. But certainly give us a call within 3 or 4 days. I would say if you haven't received it by the 20th, give us a call.
Okay. And if anybody needs any assistance filling out the ballot, do you guys offer any programs for that as well?
Oh, you bet. Weld County has a fabulous assistance program. First of all, there are special machines that will be located at the vote centers for persons with disabilities, and those are really helpful. There's also some outreach opportunities. Weld County will actually go to nursing homes if there's 7 or more folks who need assistance there. They actually do the outreach and go to those locations to assist folks. There are election judges at the vote centers to assist as well. And if you're at home, you need some assistance, don't hesitate to call on a family member or friend, certainly to help you with the mechanics of the voting, certainly not to help you make choices or influence you in any way, but just those mechanics of filling in those ovals and maybe a signature if you need that help.
Okay. And then when people are turning their votes, if they want to turn them in earlier to on election day, we're standing at one of the drop-off sites here at the south side of Greeley City Hall. Right behind us will be a voting drop-off center. But what are some of the places that will be drop-off sites this year?
The full list will be listed on the Weld County election site very soon. The City Hall drop-off site is a really popular one. We're in a very densely populated area, and it's one of the more populated or the most popular drop-off sites. And it's a drive-through as well, so you don't even have to get out of your car.
Making it easy for everybody.
That's right.
And one other question that I know we get a lot is about postmarks. The election is on November 7th this year, but when do those ballots need to actually postmark versus just dropped in a mailbox?
You know, the postmark is not that important unless you are waiting till the last few days. It's probably better to hand deliver or drop off that ballot somewhere because, well, at a vote center or at a drop-off site, because it's not the postmark that matters, it's the receive date, and it must be received by 7 p.m. at a drop site, vote center, or the Weld County Election Office by 7 p.m. on Election Day.
So basically, it's don't procrastinate is the big lesson there.
That's right. Taxes and voting.
Now, of course, we talked a lot about the different aspects of going into the election, but now what are some of the issues, if we can go to a little bit of detail, of some things that Greeley voters can expect to see on this year's ballots?
You bet. The Greeley portion of the ballot will be fairly lengthy. We have 4 elected positions that will appear on the ballot for most votes. For everyone in Greeley, there will be a choice of candidates for the mayoral position, for the city council at-large position, and if a voter lives in Ward 2 or Ward 3, their ballot will also include choices of candidates for the ward position for city council. And then there are 6 ballot questions for the city of Greeley.
Okay, and then what are some of the ballot questions or the initiatives they'll be looking at?
The 6 that will appear on Greeley's portion of the ballot will be numbered, first of all, from 2K to 2M, 2P, I believe. So there's 6 of them, so 2K through 2P. So the first one is 2K. 2K relates to a tax issue, and it relates to keeping Greeley moving. It's a sales tax for roads approved by voters in 2015. And what this is asking the voters is whether or not to approve the additional revenue that was generated by this tax that was approved by the voters in 2015. So that's really a summary of 2K. 2L relates to broadband and having the opportunity locally to take a look at a business model for broadband service. 2M and 2N and O and P are all charter changes that are being proposed to the voters. As you may know, if you change the charter in any way, you need to seek voter approval. So 2M has to do with the form of government in Greeley, and there is a question about clarifying that portion of the city's charter having to do with the council manager form of government. 2N is about requirements for the city's presiding municipal judge, adding some clarity to that provision as well. 2O is about an administrative process called revocable permits, and this is a question on whether or not to remove this provision from the charter and have that be decided at a lower level, at the staff level. And the final one is 2P, and it has to do with the Planning Commission terms of appointment. Currently, those terms are 5 years, and the question is whether or not to reduce them to 3 years to be consistent with other appointed boards and commissions in the city.
Fantastic. Well, sounds like there's a lot of reading residents have to do this year, make some decisions.
Right.
But if they want to find out more about specifically these issues, what are the best resources they can find out more?
You know, I think one of the best is the League of Women Voters partnered with the City of Greeley to develop some plain language summaries of all of these questions. And they also have a list of comments in favor of these questions and a list of comments that oppose these questions. So it's a good balanced fact sheet for these questions for the City of Greeley.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Betsy, and I'm
Thank
sure
you.
you've
My
got a busy
pleasure.
month ahead.
Thank you. Yes.
That election, general election, is happening November 7th this year. And you can get more details about it, of course, as Betsy mentioned, you can go to the Weld County Election Services website, or you can go to greeleygov.com/ballot.